Joining us right now is Conn, who is the founder of GameSecure. What a name, right?
It is. We want to make sure you game securely.
All right, that's awesome. So basically what your company does is it protects the most vulnerable of customers to ensure that there are some levels of protection, because the more we can do this, the less regulations that we can see some of these casino operators face, right? So it really is helping everybody out in this case.
Correct. We want to support players who make a very difficult decision. It's hard to go, I can't play responsibly, and to walk into a casino or walk into the regulatory body and say, I don't want to gamble anymore. That's a very tough decision. As an industry, we need to keep that sacred and make sure that we honor their decision and don't let them get access. Because there's not a lot of technology of how this information is disseminated, we act as a barrier between the operator, between the regulator, and access real-time data that when that player says, I have a problem, I don't want to gamble anymore, we know about it. And so that player goes to sign in, we do a fact check. Should this person get access, yes or no? So it's real-time, it's an insurance policy for the property that they're never going to get fined. The regulatory body is never going to be upset with them, and these players don't continue to harm themselves, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is this is something that you have seen through your whole life. I mean, you're a third generation in the gaming industry.
I am.
Your mom is Paragon Gaming, right?
Paragon Gaming, Dinah Bennett. Yeah,
okay.
So she still is my mentor for my entire career, and she's been amazing. Awesome. And then my grandfather started here on the Strip with Circus and Luxor.
So Circus was your grandpa. So
yes, so he bought it in 1974 with a partner.
Okay.
And so I grew up playing the Midway games. And when we opened up Excalibur, I played those Midway games, and I won a Lance, and I would take it home. And so yes, this has been in my blood my entire life.
Yeah, and so as a result, you have seen and you have actually participated on the other side. You've been on the other side before.
I have. So as an operator, I ran a property in Vancouver, and I got to see the emergence of responsible gaming, the emergence of self-exclusion, and what was the reality of the impact of those programs on the gaming floor. So I ran customer development. My job was to get more players, to create more revenue, and here came compliance that says you need to make sure that if someone says, I don't want to gamble anymore, you don't let them in. So it sounded contradictory, but I understood that a safe gaming floor, a gaming floor that was happy was certainly better for the environment. But whether it was a $5 player or it was a $100,000 a bet player, they all behaved differently. They all reacted to it differently. Their behavior about it was different. So I've seen people put on wigs and sunglasses and try to get in, and I've seen that as a $100,000 player try to do that. I've seen a $5 player self-exclude and walk away and never ever come back. I've seen people that the day their exclusion would end, a year to the date, they would walk in, and by the time that day was done, they were self-excluding again. So we knew that going into now the digital world, we have sports betting that is going to just roll west in the States with iGaming, that if they were doing this in physical properties, that this was going to happen in the online space as well.
Can you also fight hackers and scams?
No, the good thing is the U.S. industry makes sure that you do what's called KYC, know your customer. So you have to present your ID, you have to prove you are who you are to be able to gain access. That's the most important thing that we play off of, is every time you play, you're given your ID, and we act as that bouncer. And we go, let me see your ID, kid. Yeah, you can come in, or no, you can't. And that's how we kind of protect that. There's payment companies that do fraud. There's payment companies that do scam. We want to just really protect those players on that level.
Yeah, let's talk about why real-time is so important in all of this.
Yeah, so depending on what state you're in, you can either sign up at a property. And so say at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you sign up at a digital property. You're on your website and say, I don't want to play anymore. And it's a state-sponsored program. So that information gets held till 10 a.m. the next day. And then that property sends that information to the regulatory body. Now the regulatory body takes all of the property's information that was sent to them, they collate it, they shift it, they put it in their database, and then at 11 o'clock, they send it out to all the other operators and go, hey, here's the new batch of people that self-excluded within the last 24 hours. Now the property takes that information, and someone has to manually build that into their CRM. Okay, so now that data has changed hands 3 times, and at least has been 24 hours since that person made a decision, plus the labor time of now putting that into a CRM, it could be 48 hours that person could have signed up for another property and started playing in a very vulnerable state. Are they having a knee-jerk reaction? Oh, I signed up for self-exclusion. 10 hours later, oh, I wish I didn't do that, or maybe I can sneak back in. And they play more aggressively because they know time is limited. So we cut that time down by immediately taking that data. As soon as that person says, I have a problem and I don't want to gamble anymore, we have that. And that becomes part of our database that we ping to say, hey, should this person get access? Yes or no. So it is in real time, and that's very, very important. It's also very important that we can tie multiple databases together. So if you are in Philadelphia and you sign up for self-exclusion in Pennsylvania, congratulations. Good job on making a very good statement. A day later, you can drive across the border, a bridge right into New Jersey, and start gambling again. And I think we need to put the onus on the industry of going, should we allow that to happen? And at minimum, we should know it happens. We should have the data that goes, this person's self-excluded. What is their propensity to drive across the border and continue to play? Because those are moments that we can reach out to people of going, hey, we see this isn't healthy behavior, and talk to them. Should they get additional help or understand why they made that decision? Do you regret your self-exclusion? So we can create better programs that are tailored to individual people.
I'm wondering, do people actually know? Are they self-aware? Do they know when they have a problem when it's gambling?
You know, I think the industry has done a pretty good job at creating helplines. They put a lot of information that is certainly accessible. And I think everyone is different. I think there's some people that are really self-aware that go, I can't make rent. Hey, that's a very real thing of going, okay, I can correlate to the fact that I just gambled $1,200 and that's the exact amount of money I needed to pay rent for. So I think there's those moments, there's relationships that kind of break down, and then there's emotional stigmatisms that also come with it. That's why it's not tailored for one person. That's why we need better data. Are you playing because you're lonely? That's a different person that's playing because they want to be excited. We need more data to create better programs for individual people. So the ones that aren't self-aware, we can reach out to them.
That's awesome. Why are you personally so passionate about this?
I think being so long in the career of gaming, my family's history in gaming, it has provided us a lot. And I love this industry. I really, really do. And I think we're on the precipice of shooting ourselves in the foot. With the expansion of digital gaming, whether it's sports betting, whether it's iGaming, is putting it's on the desk right here. Gaming is right there on your phone. It's in your car, it's in your home. The accessibility is growing. I don't think that that's a bad thing. Unless we don't put in really good prevention measures, unless we don't really start to care about the health of the database of the players that we're marketing to. And I think there's going to be knee-jerk reaction from regulators that go, look at all these people that we failed. Look at all these people who continue to get access. Look at all these terrible stories that make the headlines. And there's just going to be harsher regulations that the operators are going to have to try to work in. And I think if we do the right thing now, it's going to be healthier for the players. It's going to be a lot easier for the regulators as well as the properties themselves.
That's awesome. All right, Cameron. Great talking to you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here.
Of course.
All right, thank you.
You were